Well, hello there, my fellow enthusiasts of RX-7s. I'm making this video just to prove some things that I've seen over the internet and over the YouTube channels of the misconceptions of how to fix an RX-7, and everything that I've seen so far has been totally wrong. As an engineering specialist and also years of working on this type of cars for fun, I'll let you know that there's better ways to fix these cars, and I'm going to show you how. For example, this car was an automatic car. Bought it for my son for $1,300, and it had this transmission. This is the automatic transmission that I lost against with a race against a Porsche 911 Carrera. At 160, I left them, but I lost the tranny. I boiled it. My fault. I'm making a video. They're having several issues, and I've seen from several newbies to when it comes to an RX-7 on how to figure out several problems that they have. For example, the biggest problem that I heard from a lot of viewers of YouTube is that they do not understand why a car, an RX-7, will run so rich, and 90% of the times is this little bad boy right here, the TPS, the throttle positioning sensor. Whereas it's so easy with this screw right here to take, and you take your measurements on voltage, 0 to 5 volts for the computer to acknowledge, from the green to the red, or you can take your ground, put it to your ground, your basic flux meter, take it to your ground, connect it to the red to get it to the green to get the return. I'm sorry. And then you can see the flow of voltage going across to let the computer know at what state your positioning sensor is for fuel. That will tell your pump control voltage how to increase the volume of fuel. The biggest problems that they have with these cars and not understanding them is that you start moving every mechanism right here with the throttling position. This one right here controls, through the heating of water, the position of your idle position at cold starts. It also will open up the main throttles, so when you floor it after 3,000 RPMs, you can set off better. From my experience with these cars over the years, where my first car was an RX-4, totally 4-barrel, they were more complicated than even this. This is probably the easiest car to figure out, to say the least. Some of the simplest things to understand, for example, I'm moving the air intake where it's totally closed. Turn, you'll see a marker right here, which 3/4 marker from your turn. As you turn it to a 3/4 mark, you're set off and you're perfect. And from there, this is your idle master speed, where you can put it to the RPMs of 9,000 RPMs. The book calls for 6.5, 7, and you'll see most of your information for it is right here. This is your vacuum system. You have it in every one of the cars. Very easy to figure out. And this is your engine family. The biggest problem with RX-7s, and I will tell you the biggest problems with RX-7s is, if you have an RX-7 that has no power, that you cannot go beyond 40 miles per hour without when it stalls, it's a very simple thing that has happened. You have blown the catalytic converter that's right behind the output right there. That's your exhaust line. Right after it, you got 2 sets of catalytic converters. Most likely you have collapsed the sock, the first part of the catalytic converter, and henceforth you will have 0 power. Most people with RX-7s do not understand that these cars run very hot, very brutal. But if you run it that hot and brutal, you will collapse. You will burn that oxygen sensor you see right there, and you will destroy the catalytic converter that you needed for smog check. Me myself, when I'm done passing smog checks, I get rid of the catalytic converter. Then I just negotiate the intake. So if you want your RX-7 to run at its almost run, you would just grab the book and do the simplest adjustments, like voltages returns, pump returns. It has a voltage return. You have all your voltages returns right here, so it can tell you where it is. Don't be afraid to change things into better. Do not modify, because once you modify, you basically make the computer obsolete, and you're trying to do what the computer was meant to do. As a CPU system that is set up for computers, onboard computers, they're very simple to operate. And with a simple voltmeter, you can see everything. As I said before, this used to be an automatic car. I blew the transmission against a 911 Carrera down the 99 freeway, doing close to 160 miles per hour. Yep. So I converted it to a 5-speed. Everybody in the YouTube and even the experts were calling for all kinds of harness changes, when in reality, all you gotta do is mimic the automatic positioners and the return bolts, and then you just tie in to the computer what is required. It's a very simple process of 3 wires to change. The only thing you'll have missing if you don't want to put it in there will be a reverse light. Who cares about a reverse light? Really? Do you need a reverse light? Anyways, I don't drive in reverse much. I drive forward. And this whole project has been done for my son, for him to have for high school. I hope he enjoys it.
Okay, guys.
Meter, and then at the negative pole, you're gonna see the return of a 1.9 VDCs, which is my idle speed right now. Since it's cold, basically this is what I'm looking at it right now. As it idles down and it finds its position, you should be starting about say 0.75 volts VDCs on it. Now you're gonna see it increase and decrease as I move it up and down. And this is what you want the computer to see. You got 0 to 5 volts. 4.75 is being at about 7,000 RPMs is where you're gonna see it. So as you see, that is how you set up your TPS sensor, the correct way to set it up. You can put it on resistance, but you don't know where your computer is at based upon the amount of output coming out of it. You want to see it here. This is right now still warming up, and you'll see it going down, 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 and your starting point at full heat when your engine is at complete idle set. And you ran it for about, let's say, 15 minutes, or you took a cruise around the block to get it hot. You want to start off at about 0.75, 0.8, and that's where the computer wants to see it. You don't want 0. You want it to be set, because if it's at 0, it'll actually go into the negative side, and it will increase the gas fuel pump. And that's why you're gonna get like a vacuum when you open up to refuel the tank. You're gonna get too much vacuum. You want a little bit of vacuum to know that the pump is doing its job correctly with the canister, and you don't got any vacuum leaks. But you don't want to have raw fuel going in, which it can do by the amount of voltage that is sent out right here. Your fuel sensors right here. This is your pump output module right here. It runs through vacuum, and it knows where it's gonna go. Right now it's trying to go down to its setup state, and is looking for the throttle positioning sensor that is not, it doesn't want to give it any more fuel as it's warming up. You see that smoke? Totally normal. My seals are sealing up right now because I haven't started it in days. That'll go away. It'll do it once, here and there. Don't be embarrassed. It's what an RX-7 does. All RX-7s do this. Unless you're brand new from the factory, then of course, you know, your seals are brand new and you don't do that a lot. But that's normal. So if you smell raw fuels coming in, understand this. TPS, you got a calibration right there. That's your TPS. You don't want to be out of calibration. You want to be in calibration. And very important, don't forget, your vacuum. All your vacuum lines have to be in correct position. Don't forget your air intake, your output intake at higher speeds right here, adjustments. This is your main adjustment right there. For the second throttle, the base throttle, right here. Combine your TPS to the computer. This is the connection to the computer where the computer sees where your output is. It'll tell the pumps how much fuel to negotiate for what it needs. This is your pump fuel sensor. It knows where it's at based upon the returns right here. It's a negative return. Computers work on negative returns, not on positive returns. Positive returns is the availability of a module to ignite. Yep, settling down. 0.9, 0.9. I'm looking to 0.75, 0.8 here or there. I like to run it a little bit hotter. And this is your RX-7 specialist signing off. If you have any questions, hey, send me an email. I'll gladly give you the answers. Thank you. So, let's do this again. Warming up, settling down, going down to my 3/4 volts, 0.75, 0.8. As I'm bottoming up, RPMs, we're raising it. You're gonna see the raise. 5 is your maximum. If you go beyond 5 maximum, you have a different problem. And this will tell my fuel pump regulator, my voltage control regulator, where to be. Hey Martin, this is your car. You like it? Can't wait to drive it? Lucky. I'm so proud to do it for you, son. Don't worry about it. So, here it is. Bad boy. A bit of Porsche 911.